City of Forest Park Virtual Council Work Session, April 26, 2021. Under the work session items, we have updates from department heads on current projects and activities. Andy, is there to be any order or just whoever wants to go first?
No, we'll probably do Chris and then Wright and then myself and then Fire.
Okay. Mr. Anderson, you're up.
I wasn't sure how detailed you wanted to be. Do you want just a
Well, okay.
2-minute overview or boring?
Let me tell you what what we talked about, Andy and Don and I. When we were just chatting, I thought that it would probably be a good idea if the department heads would come on to a work session occasionally, sometimes too. So the first and foremost, especially during the pandemic, I think Councilwoman Herbie just said they don't get to see you, so they can look at you. And secondly, some of the issues or questions that may come up during our work session / council meeting or Don's report, if there's a need for further explanation or further questions, as Don said, it would be a way of removing the middleman and just have you to directly tell us what's going on. I know, Chris, in your case, you pretty much did that at the last minute when we talked about the trash behind those two buildings and some of the other kinds of things we were maybe looking at in terms of city beautification. So we have a total of about a half hour. So if there's anything that you want to tell us, or if any council members or other people have questions for you, like I said, you pretty much did yours the last time you were here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. I was mainly wanting to see how much time. So as you all know, community development includes property maintenance, and that's a topic that's always near the top of the list. And we are right now in the busy time for property maintenance and code enforcement. At the last work session, I did update you about the incidents of dumping that we had at the 2 vacant properties, and the cleanup. We've with the Public Works Department secured those properties so that they're not easy to drive onto, and that seems to have helped. But dumping is still a problem. We've had a couple of incidents on Ballinger Drive, and then also behind the Omni Funplex on Omniplex Drive. So it's really it's a multi-department effort. Police are out there doing some patrols and stakeouts to try and catch someone actually doing this. We've worked with Public Works. We're working with contractors to clean up the properties. The other big reason that the spring is busy for property maintenance is tall grass and weeds. And we're in the second season now of using the yellow signs for properties where the grass has not been cut. Also in property maintenance, this actually predates the discussion 2 weeks ago, but issuing of litter notices and cleanup of the exterior properties was a sort of winter priority as the weather allowed. But we did issue, as of the last reporting period, 68 violation notices on property to clean up some form of litter or junk or that sort of thing.
Okay, any council members have any questions for Mr. Anderson, or anything that you might want to bring to his attention?
Chris, if there's any portion of a property that's involved with high grass or or some real cosmetic issue. So we just send off a communication to you, an email, and
Sure, yes.
and just provide that information on the property.
Yeah, all we really need is the address.
Okay.
Sometimes people send us a photo too, and that's great, but we need the address. We send someone out to look. It actually leads me to my next item, if there are no more questions, but if there are, I can answer those.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
so one thing that we've been working on all through 2021 has been a new citizen services platform for the website. And that's a project that's going to integrate a lot of different things, but basically it's going to be a way for really a resident, a business person, a contractor to apply for a permit, like a building permit, register a rental property, lodge a property maintenance complaint, also to track the progress on a property maintenance complaint, as well as doing some reporting for the council that I think would be more informative in terms of that we'd be able to kind of slice and dice the numbers a little better than we are with our current system. So the outward facing part of this is going to be that you'll be able to go to the website and you're going to have a number of different things that you can do on there that you can't do today. And one of them is, as I mentioned, to apply for several different kinds of permits. Online, you can use a credit card to pay for the permit. Currently, we provide the application form online, but you'd need to fill that out, scan it, and send it in, then call in a credit card to do it all without coming into the office or putting something in the mail, like a check. So that is something that's been pretty intensive in working with a consultant, and that's OpenGov is the vendor. And we've been having twice weekly meetings with them. We're now in the testing phase of several of the elements of the platform, but it'll cover not just the permits and the rental registrations and the complaints, but some other things too that are similar in the way that a person would interact with the city. So, for example, we have the community reinvestment area that provides a tax abatement for the houses that are under construction. The person who's purchasing the house needs to make an application for that. And that's going to be part of this platform. It's just going to make it easier and hopefully more seamless all around. There's a fair amount of study of this kind of customer service, online customer service that's been done all around the country, and it shows very strong correlation with higher satisfaction with city services and the perceived value of those. So we're
Okay.
hoping that everyone will be happier all around with that. And then I just had two more things.
Okay.
But I-
Move on. Time.
Oh, okay, I'm already taking my time. Okay.
Okay. Let's go to Wright.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I sent everybody a update in the email. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at it. If not, I can quickly go over it. I've divided it into 3 different sections: ongoing annual programs that continually go on every year, summer programs, and fall programs. And on the ongoing annual programs, the solid waste collection and recycling program's going fine. It's basically running very smoothly. If we get any kind of calls, we answer the calls and their requests within a 24-hour period. So that seems to be working very well. The aggregation program, the electric aggregation program is going well. We're getting calls occasionally to opt in. Have not gotten any calls to opt out. So that, and we talked to the energy broker this afternoon, and he says we have some of the lowest renewable energy rates in the state. So for 3 years, I think we're pretty good for electric aggregation. The natural gas, though, it's jumping everywhere. It's very volatile. I asked him if we had gotten a contract last fall, where would we be today? And he says probably 6 of one, half dozen of another. It wouldn't have really mattered because we would have come out about the same place. He kind of recommends to wait until the summer, see what the market do, and then we can act accordingly. But we're all set up to pull the trigger with all the paperwork done, and we're just waiting for the right circumstance. I don't want to go into a program that is not good for the residents or the city. Attic insulation, air sealing, we're doing the 50% subsidy on that, but we are expanding it to improve HVAC inspections. We figure, we can insulate everything, but if the furnace or the air conditioning isn't working efficiently, we're kind of defeating the purpose. A lot of these things we've discussed in our board meeting, and so now we have the HVAC inspection program along with insulation. And feel free to interrupt me. I'm trying to go as fast as I can because I know other people have things to say. The tree removal program is going really well. It went smoothly this year. He decided to cut down all the trees in 1 month, so he's just going to send all his trucks in May and cut down the trees, the dead and dying trees that people have agreed to sign a contract for. I've had a talk with Arborex, and he said that a lot of the residents who signed up really didn't have dead or dying trees. They had dead and dying branches, which could be a problem. So the board and I and the contractor, we all kind of talked it out and thought that, yes, we're going to expand the program to include removal of dead and dying limbs. It's not going to be a pruning program where you go in and just prune cosmetically. We'll remove the dead and dying limbs out of there, and that will still fall under the subsidy agreement of the program. So we're going to have a special registration period in August. We're going to do it for a second time this year, and we're going to let everybody know that they can participate in the dead limb program as well. And we're also increasing the subsidies to, it was a maximum of $500. We're increasing it to $750 because now we're getting into bigger and bigger trees. We've cut down over 200 trees so far, and the trees are really expensive. So the board has agreed to increase the subsidy amount to our program of $750 per house. We started a new program in conjunction with the fire department. I'm working with Jim Smith. He goes in and inspects homes. A lot of homes, there are hoarders. They need a massive clean out. So Jim and I talked about it, and so we're financing a large part of dumpsters for these residents, encouraging them to use the dumpsters to clean out their house and to make the environment healthier for them and safer for them. We've had 2 homes so far that have taken advantage of that. It's still in the pilot stages. It's a very flexible kind of flowing dynamic because we're working with residents who have certain issues, and hoarding is an illness. And so we're trying to find a nice balance where they are paying a little bit for the dumpster, but we're paying the majority. So we're hoping that incentive will get at least some of the stuff out of the house so that they can remain in the house. And the last thing that's annual is just information that's flowing out of our office through the internet and Facebook. I think y'all have been getting that information as well. So we've been real busy doing that. The summer programs, we're doing the large clients collection. That is in demand. We're already scheduling into the 3rd week of the program because people are calling up. And what we're trying to get specifically are those appliances that contain Freon, because it's very difficult to dispose of. Freon is a greenhouse gas, and so we want to make sure that the residents have an option to get rid of those equipment in an environmentally conscious way. Reforesting Forest Park, we're doing the tree program again this year. We're offering that 75% subsidy on the trees. That's going very well. And the summer program, we've kind of changed it a little bit because of the pandemic and what the zoo and the parks are doing. So not only are we offering a video thing for a virtual thing for kids, but the zoo has some programs for adults and families. So we're going to provide a subsidy, a 50% subsidy for families and for adults to take advantage of the zoo. So that's new. And then this fall, just to let you know that we have scheduled already a used tire drive and a community paper shredding event that were canceled last year. It's going to be in September the 25th over at Kemper Meadow Park. So that's all ready to go. We've got the sorority group ready to volunteer. And the last thing that I have is that the board has agreed to help the city finance the electric recharging stations that hopefully will be put in this year in the parking lot, and also the LED lighting retrofit for the municipal building. The board has decided to help pay about 50% of the city's cost, but some of that is covered in grant. So that's what we've been doing. So I'm open to any questions that you might
Okay,
have.
any questions for?
Not a question, but if
quickly?
you are on the e-news or the email list that Wright has, you may have received an email about wrapping your trees, small trees, to protect them from the cicadas. And you need very fine mesh, 1 centimeter mesh. So that will help protect the small trees, and particularly those that have just been planted in the last few years. So if you haven't received it, contact Wright and have him send that to you.
Any other questions for Wright? Okay, Andy, I think you are next.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it short and sweet.
Good.
So 2021, so for activities I've been working on, before I get to my HR activities, there's a few projects of note. And Wright mentioned the electric vehicle charging stations. We applied for a grant last September and we just received it. The total cost was going to be around $48,000. The grant they're giving us is for $22,500. So, and then Wright's going to chip in. So we're going to do pretty well there and have very minimal cost to the city. It'll be a nice amenity to have for the residents and even non-residents that are coming that need to charge their electric vehicles. So hopefully have that installed by the end of the year. It may go into next year, depending on that, because we're at the mercy of Duke and things like that. Then I've also been working on projects such as building renovations and designs, including the corner and the sign. I got a contractor working on or drawing up plans for that, as well as the senior center additions. We're talking about storage and a new vestibule down there. We're just in the beginning stages of that, and we have some grant money for some of that as well. So I'll have more of that later on. And then lastly, I'm implementing a new HR system. You may have noticed a new job posting website under the HR department. This links to governmentjobs.com as well, which is where most people go for local government jobs. And then that's on those. And then just real quickly on current HR activities. This year we've had 3 resignations, including engineering technician, office associate 2, main reception, and then the community development office associate, Connie Westendorf, is going to be leaving in June. And so we've recently hired Kara Viteri, who she just started this last Monday. So she's going to be training with Connie for 2 months. And then we also had 2 police officers resign last year, and we're actually in the process of filling 3 of them. That job posting has closed. We did 25 interviews last week. We're bringing back 9 for a second interview starting tomorrow and Wednesday. They'll do the agility test at that time. Then we also have some other postings out there. Internal wise, we have an office associate 2 for the main reception area. We have 1 person who applied for that. That closes this week, I think, or maybe by Monday. There's a police sergeant as well that they're adding a 5th sergeant because they went from 10-hour shifts to 12-hour shifts. But this is not an extra body. This is when Jim Ward, who's a current lieutenant, leaves, they will not be replacing him. So it's the same count, just different ranks. And then engineering technician, we had that job posting earlier this year that closed. 5 people applied, 1 didn't qualify. We interviewed the top 2. And then we actually are going to hire both of them. We're in the process of doing background checks. One's going to be in public works like they always have. The other one's going to be underneath, or it's going to be in the community development and building department mainly. So it's going to help out all that building as well. This will really be a benefit to Rafiq. And we think a lot of this will be paid for possibly by rental registrations and things like that. And that's all I got.
Any questions for Andy? Thanks, sir. We'll go to Paul and then we'll do the 5 guys. We'll wrap it up for us.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question regarding Associate 2. You say you have 1 applicant?
For internal, yes.
Oh, it's an internal position.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Now, once we fill that, we may have to then post that job.
Okay. Now, are you able to speak on how diverse the police pool is, or is that
Sure.
something that you do?
Yeah, I can do that real quick. I have, I was actually going to mention that, I just run out of time. We actually had 81 people apply. Of that, 35 were minority, meaning either women or other than white. So we were actually very happy. We did a diversity optimized scoring system this time. So, and then, so within our top pool, we have, I think 4 minorities that were of the 9 we're bringing back this week.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Paul, you're on.
Are you on mute?
I got you. Mayor, members of council, thank you very much. I'll try to roll through this as quickly as Andy did, since I know you got a lot to cover tonight. The Economic Development Program of Work usually consists of some pretty common elements year to year. So business recruitment, business retention, small business and entrepreneurial development, and community marketing. And while we're continuing all of those activities that we traditionally do in those areas, we're kind of focused on 4 unique areas for 2021 and 2022. The first of those, and you've seen some of this activity, is the redevelopment of underdeveloped commercial property here in the city of Forest Park. That's been a priority of ours the last couple of years, and we focus primarily in filling vacant or underperforming buildings in our light industrial areas. So the Magna Machine, the fax and machining projects, conversion of North Point Center, those types of projects. Those have been relatively, probably close to $8 million in development. We leveraged about $450,000 in outside funding from Hamilton County, the state of Ohio, and other agencies to do those projects in the Northland Corridor. So we're trying to build on that effort now and trying to now turn our attention to some of the underperforming retail properties. So in 2021 and 2022, we're looking at Civic Center Plaza, Promenade Shopping Center. We were able to get Kroger to do their $3 million renovation of the local Kroger store at Forest Park Square. So we're trying to look at the retail properties as being a key component of our program of work for the next couple of years. Obviously, one of the principal properties in that redevelopment targeting program is the mall property, but as we all know, the mall property is kind of unique because it's dependent upon the willingness of the private property owner that's an out-of-state owner to sell that property before we can go out and try to redevelop the site. The last 2 redevelopments of the mall have ranged anywhere from $20 million to $60 million. This is not going to be a project that any public entity is going to take on. It's going to require a private sector partner to come in, buy the mall, and put in with the resources to convert it and reposition it. But that's all part of our redevelopment campaign that we're currently under. The other big project that we're working on right now is the Hamilton County Libraries facilities project. All of you, I think, are pretty well aware of that. And I want to thank Councilor Moore for all of her help in helping us pull this together. She was one of the principals that helped us open up the door and get our foot in the door with the library. And that resulted in a commitment from the library to They'll be investing $10 million to build a 30,000 square foot new next generation library over at the corner of Waycross and Sharon. The city will have an opportunity potentially to acquire the existing library building and convert that into some type of a hub for community services. Could be part of our minority business development campaign, could be a fine arts center. There's a number of things that we could look at doing, and I think we're going to take a look at where we can find outside sources of money and try to find a project that works for us, that fills a need for the community, that allows us to put that building back into productive use. We're marketing city-owned properties for redevelopment. As all of you know, part of our redevelopment campaign, we've acquired a number of blighted or vacant or underperforming properties. We were able to use county dollars and federal money to do some demolition on all of those properties, clearing those sites for future development. And what we want to do over the next couple of years is, rather than continue to sit on these properties, is now start to move some of these properties and put them back into productive use. Get them in the hands of private sector property owners, put things on there that are going to create jobs, create reinvestment, and redevelop all those sites. Key property that we're looking at right off the bat is the 12-acre site that we have at Hamilton and Waycross, where the old Kmart building used to stand. And we are hoping to move that property and get that in the hands of somebody to do a building and a project over there. Finally, and this is different for us, we are really making a focused effort to boost minority business inclusion and development and entrepreneurship here in the city of Forest Park. I know Councilor Clark has been involved with that. Councilor Moore has been involved with that as well. I think all members of council have been involved with this initiative. Our goal is to not only just attract that type of business development, but find ways that we can sustain that for years to come. So we're looking to create a minority business development center here in the community. As many of you know, we had actually submitted a grant to the state of Ohio to include this as part of our plan to redevelop Promenade Shopping Center. That plan is still in the works, but we've got a long way to go on that. But our hope is that we can eventually put a 25,000 to 30 or 40, even 40,000 square foot minority business development center here in the community. We're not looking to recreate the wheel. What we're hoping to do is to bring existing programming that's already going on, whether it's with Uptown Consortium or Mortar or the Urban League or the African American Chamber of Commerce, Ohio Means Jobs, any of these groups that are already doing programming in this area, to bring those existing services out into our neighborhoods and our communities here in the northern Cincinnati Loop. And we want to be a hub for that activity here in the northern part of Hamilton County. So as you can see, we've kind of taken off a lot of high profile projects. And I think the key word we're looking for this year is transformative. We want to do things that help us transform Forest Park from even the strong position that we're in today and kind of boost us, and particularly in these areas that we've talked about. So we're looking to really, add a presence in the region as far as those areas.
Okay, anybody got anything for Paul? Hearing none, now we'll go to the two guys at the bottom. Mr. Jones.
Hey,
Mr. Hill.
yeah, Mayor, I don't know. You got less than a minute for your meeting
No,
to
no,
start.
go ahead. We'll run.
we got
All right.
plenty of time.
We'll
All
run.
right, I
over.
appreciate that, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having us this evening. As I became chief of the fire department, I will continue to do traditional fire service stuff out there, but I want to get away from it. I want to do more value-added services for our community and sell Forest Park. And that's when I brought Jermaine in as a lieutenant to be our risk reduction officer. He took off with that and made great things happen. At the same time, he shows some shortcomings as it comes to health-related problems in the city of Forest Park. So I'm gonna pass this on to Jermaine because I'm doing my succession planning and I'm preparing him to be the next chief. So he's gonna have to prepare to continue the value-added services that we've been giving to our community. Go ahead, Jermaine.
All right, so in the same vein of value-added, once I was promoted to assistant chief, we were able to bring a part-timer in and have him in charge of the public education programs for the city of Forest Park. James Riley, he's wonderful in the schools, and he also has a passive rescue dog, Ziva. Ziva is not only a resource for the city of Forest Park, but also Hamilton County. She's able to help locate missing and lost persons. Not vicious at all, doesn't bite. And within the last 2 months, she's been called out 6 times. James has also been utilized as a resource to train other rescue dogs. So it seems that the program is going successful. Also, let's see, we've created a new position in the fire department, the community health and education manager. This person will be an advocate for Forest Park, focusing on the community health of Forest Park, trying to alleviate chronic disease, but also not just being an advocate, but being someone that can bring resources into Forest Park, monetary connections with hospitals, connections with clinics, you name it, because we have a population base that's getting more diverse and getting larger by the year. So we need someone that'll be focused on the grant writing, the fundraising, preventable diseases, increasing lifespans, all the things that we find important. And also one of our future plans, we just started discussions about developing a health resource center in the city of Forest Park. We saw many shortcomings, I'll say for lack of a better term, when we wanted to get vaccinations for the epidemic or when we wanted to get tested. So we believe that if we had our own health resource center that could do inoculations, vaccinations, focus on health education, primary care for adults, it would be that much greater for the city, for our city residents. We know that a bunch of our residents, they have issues with transportation. We've been told to try to partner with Mount Healthy and with Scarlet Oaks. There's no way our residents are going to get there. So we want this space to be within the city of Forest Park. Chief Jones has already volunteered to drive the van to take people to their doctor's appointments. I've been in touch with Springdale's health commissioner. He's on board with partnering with us. I talked to the Women's Center across the street from the fire department. They're interested in partnering with us and doing pregnancy tests, doing OB education. So it seems like this thing is starting to get some legs, and we're gonna see what we can do with it. Let's see. We've been in contact with the CACC, Connecting Active Communities Coalition. They've been very aggressive about having bike paths connect the different communities, Forest Park being one of them. So we'll have Councilor Brown, we'll have Recreation Coordinator Jay Dennis. I'll be there. I think Chief Jones will be there. But we plan on sitting in on those meetings so that Forest Park has a place at the table, because we want those multi-path tracks to be in the city of Forest Park. Let's see. One of the last things, we're trying to find funding for the outdoor fitness court that is going to be a reality. The only thing we're going to have to worry about is who to name it after. So I'm looking forward to us turning the city upside down and making Forest Park a landing spot instead of being so transient. And I believe with the talent that we have and the passion that we have, we can get it done. That's all I got.
Okay, Chief, you are Jermaine one. Could you speak a little bit about, I think on Wednesday there's going to be a vaccination at the senior center?
Yes, it's from 2 to 4. I found a fault in the sign up today, and I was talking to the health department. If you're trying to apply online through the ArmorVax, it's not showing the Forest Park Senior Center. So there's still a lot of appointments available. They will definitely take the walk-ins. So I just posted on my Facebook, and I'm getting the word out. So we're trying to get as much as possible to get that vaccination. So it is Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay. Anybody got any questions for the two chiefs?
Is that Pfizer or what is that?
Yes, Pfizer. And also I'll be doing, the fire department will be doing homebound vaccination for our citizens who cannot get out to get the vaccine. So Johnson & Johnson's active once again. So we'll be out roughly, I have 19 citizens that will be inoculating here next week.
Anybody else got anything else for these gentlemen? I want to thank all of your department heads and all of you, because as I said, the aim here is to bring information directly to council. Obviously, this being the first time, we were limited in time, but doing a quote a normal work session we won't have to rush. There can be more of an exchange. And to council members, I would say for looking down the road to the future, the next few meetings, if you have issues, concerns, or questions, get those to the city manager and or Sally so that they can forward them on to the department people so that they can be prepared to answer those those questions that you have directly, as well as giving us updates and other information. I thank you guys for taking your time. I'll see what I can do about overtime pay for you on this one. But again, thank you very much. Now, is there any questions from any of the other council members of any of these guys before we let them go? And I take it Jermaine and Rosalind and Chief Jones, We Thrive is still moving forward, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good, good.
I just want to say thank all the department heads for coming on today and speaking with us. And so it looks like we're gonna have some great things going on in Forest Park. I'm just very excited and proud to be a resident of Forest Park. And so thank you for helping us be in to grow and to kind of get the community engaged and keep them aware of all the great things that's going on. So thank you for spending time with us today.
And I would add too, just in case anybody's wondering, there are other department heads who are not here, but then they weren't scheduled to be at this meeting. They will be, some of the other people will be at our next work session meeting. So this is going to be, like I said, an ongoing thing. It's not a one-time thing. And of course, we will have some repeaters. John and Sally will be considered as part of the quote department heads that will be updating us as well in some of our future meetings. So again, thank you guys, appreciate it. And before I go to Dana, Denise, I believe that we are having the tree planting on Friday at 11, and it's out by same place we did last year, out by the tennis court. Is that right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Thank you all again. And with that, if there's no further business for the work session, we will adjourn the work session. And Dana, whenever you're ready to let us know. The City of Forest Park Virtual Special Council Meeting, April 26, 2021. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Brown, Here. Clark, Herbie,
Here.
Holt,
Here.
Johnson,
You here?
Moore,
Here.
Sylvester.
Yeah.
Is there a motion, Councilman Herbert?
I would move to excuse Councilwoman Clark.
Second.
Second. It's been moved and second that we excuse Councilwoman Clark. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
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 Opposed? She is excused. Next item is new business. Is there a motion, Councilwoman Hope?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to convene to an executive session to discuss personnel matters.
Second.
Been moved and second that we convene into an executive session to discuss matters of personnel. Is there any discussion?
None, thank you.
Would the clerk please call the roll? It requires a 2/3 vote of people present.
Brown, Yes. Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes,
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
Motion to convene in the executive session passes 6-0. That no official business will be taken during the executive session. When that session is over, we will come out and adjourn the executive session and convene into the regular special council meeting. Okay, we're back out of executive session. Is there a motion, Councilwoman Holt?
yes, I would like to make a motion to adjourn the executive session and reconvene the regular council meeting.
Second.
Been moved and second that we adjourn the executive session and reconvene into the regular special council meeting. Any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
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 Opposed? None. That takes us to item B on the new business, a motion again, Councilwoman Holt.
I would like to make a motion to concur with the city manager's appointment of William Arns to the position of police chief.
Second,
It's been moved and second that we concur with the city manager's appointment of William Orange to the position of police chief. Is there any discussion?
None, thank you.
Okay, is this a voice or a roll call?
It could be either. It could be a voice.
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Is there any other business to come before the body? Any other business to come before the body? Hearing none, I believe next week is the first Monday, right? So next week is a regular council meeting.
Regular council meeting.
Okay. Is there any other business become before the body? Hearing none?
Next
just-
Monday is the fifth Monday, isn't it?
No.
No.
1, 2,
Uh,
3.
Monday
the
is the
30
first Monday. Yeah, so
Oh,
it's a
I'm looking
regular
at-
council
I'm
meeting.
looking
first.
at May. I'm looking
But-
at May, I'm sorry.
Because there was nothing on this agenda, is there anything on the agenda next week? Or are we just going to open and close?
I don't know. I won't know that until Thursday. So
Okay.
at this point, we will have our regular meeting on Monday.
I think Andy has some things.
Yeah, and I think
salary.
Harlita might have a couple too.
Yeah, it's hard.
And if necessary, a work session before, if
I
necessary.
won't know until Thursday.
The,
All right. Anybody else, anything else for the good of the order?
thank you all for taking the time
Okay.
to,
Yeah.
schedule a special day.
And again, I would urge us as council members, if you know of anybody, rather what is 16 and over, who have not had their vaccines or not gotten them and want to get them, Wednesday at the senior center, I forget what time.
2 to 4.
2 to 4.
2 to 4, and they will be taking walk-ins as well. So even if they have not pre-registered or made appointments, please get over there and get that done. So yeah, if you and I was Mr. Jones, could we possibly run that on our signboards as well?
It'll be up there tomorrow.
Okay,
Which day?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
So
2 to 4.
hearing nothing
And there
else,
will be Pfizer, right?
excuse
All
me.
Pfizer, yes.
Wednesday
There'll be
this
2
week.
shots.
This week.
And for,
Yes.
on behalf of Councilwoman Holt, for those of you who might have the opportunity, those of us who are retired and are no longer working, thank God. Friday at 11 o'clock, we're gonna plant a tree or two. I think we're planting 2 trees this time. Is
I
that
think they
right,
said 2.
Councilwoman?
They said 2.
2 trees. And you don't even have to wear a tie, guys.
Perfect.
We have to wear your mask
Question
until the
about,
governor's next order come out.
The tree planting, is there any way that those trees can be dedicated to our residents who succumb to COVID, who passed away from COVID? Is there any way we can, just,
That's a very good idea.
That's a nice idea.
Councilwoman Holt,
Nice idea.
that would be for you all to decide, you to recommend.
Okay, I will.
Okay. Again, thank you. Everybody be safe.
We'll see if we can get a
Well.
plaque.
Good night. Take care.
Good night.
Right.
And
Thank you, guys.